Masked Israeli settlers, armed with large sticks and rocks, violently beat Palestinians. The large group targets those taking part in an olive harvest near Nablus in the occupied West Bank. Nobody is safe from this brutality. Journalists were wounded, along with international volunteers and activists too.
The settlers attacked us. They started beating us, throwing stones at us, beating journalists, farmers, old and young people, everyone.
This unprovoked attack caused Palestinians to flee, bloodied and bruised, in a desperate scramble down the hillside.
We left everything behind. We left our belongings, we left our olives, we left our land, and we ran for our lives.
Those with more serious injuries were taken to hospital. Settlers carry out violent attacks on Palestinians without any punishment, and often they're protected by Israel's military. Earlier on Saturday, a Palestinian home near Ramallah was set on fire in a separate settler attack. Those inside were saved after a family member was able to raise the alarm. Daylight revealed significant damage to many of the rooms.
They come disguised in cars and heavy machinery that they use in their brutal attacks on our land, our homes and our children. They park their cars at a distance. They come masked and disguised. And this area is very close to the settlement outpost. And this is what helps them reach any house and attack it and torch it.
While there's a ceasefire in Gaza, every day Palestinians across the occupied West Bank are subjected to fear, torment and attacks like these, with no protection or avenue for justice. Caley, Callahan, Al Jazeera.
All right, joining us now live from Ramallah is Jonathan Pollak. He's an activist who was harvesting olives when he and others got attacked by settlers. Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us here on Al Jazeera. Let me ask you first to detail to our viewers what happened specifically in this unprovoked attack.
First of all, thank you for having me. There's not much detail to what happened today. We were simply in the fields harvesting olives with the landowners when all of a sudden, or should I say somewhat expectedly, dozens of settlers, masked, armed with clubs, descended on us from the top of the hill. They had the advantage of height, and they just started hurling what cannot be described as anything else than huge rocks at us. And we've had to flee down the hill. There have been at least 14 injuries requiring medical attention. The two most severe ones are of a journalist that was bludgeoned as they got to her halfway through the hill, bludgeoned with clubs, had rocks thrown at her while she was lying at the ground. And another solidarity activist who's over 70 years old and had his cheekbone and jaw broken by the settlers. But I think that what is the most important thing about what happened today isn't the specific details of this attack, but the fact that this is a pattern. Just today, this is only one of over dozens of such attacks. And it is often painted in the wrong way, in a way that presents these events as attacks by extremist settlers, sometimes accompanied by the army, sometimes supported, sometimes protected by the army. But in fact, we live in a situation that's very similar to the South. The U.S. South during the Jim Crow period, where the sheriff and the Klan are one and the same. And here in the West Bank, the armed Israeli civilians and the army are merely separate fingers in one clenched fist, which is
Jonathan,
the fist of Israel. Policy for ethnically cleansing Palestinians.
Jonathan, let me just ask you, since you brought up the fact that there has been so much criticism of the fact that settlers often carry out these attacks without any punishment, and often they're protected by members of the Israeli security apparatus. Was there any presence by Israeli security during that attack today?
No, there hasn't, not today, but just a month ago, in exactly the same place, settlers and Israeli soldiers attacked harvesters together in an incident that even saw the use of live fire by settlers, not by the army, injuring a young Palestinian man in the leg with live rounds. I don't even think it's a case of impunity. People like talking about impunity and lack of accountability, but this is something else. This is simply an issue of Israel using different instruments of violence in order to implement a policy of ethnic cleansing.
All right, that's Jonathan Pollak. He's an activist who was harvesting olives when he and others got attacked by settlers. He was joining us from Ramallah. Thanks so much, Jonathan.
Thank you for having me.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.